Have you ever felt broken? Have you ever looked at the cracks in your own vessel, the flaws and imperfections that you try so desperately to hide, and believed they made you less worthy? If you have, then I want to tell you a story about a long, dusty path, an old water bearer, and the hidden purpose of a simple crack. In a sun-drenched valley, nestled between rolling hills of green and gold, lived an old man named Elias. His face was a map of a life well lived, etched with the lines of laughter and contemplation. Every morning, just as the sun began to warm the earth, Elias would walk a well-worn path from his small cottage down to a crystal-clear stream. He made this journey with a long wooden yoke balanced across his shoulders, and from each end of the yoke hung an earthen pot. One of the pots was a masterpiece of the potter's art. It was smooth, perfectly formed, and its glaze shone in the morning light. It never lost a single drop of water on the long walk back to the cottage. The other pot, however, was its humble companion. It was older, a little weathered, and bore a long, thin crack running down its side. On every journey, by the time Elias reached his home, this cracked pot would be only half full, having leaked a steady stream of water all along the path. For 2 years, this was the rhythm of their lives. The perfect pot, filled with a sense of its own flawless utility, was immensely proud of its accomplishments. It saw itself as the epitome of what a water pot should be, fulfilling its purpose without fault or failure. It would often feel a smug satisfaction as it was lifted, full to the brim, from the yoke, while its cracked companion sat beside it, looking depleted and ashamed. If clay could speak, the perfect pot would have boasted of its strength and integrity, looking down upon the other for its obvious and persistent shortcoming. The cracked pot, in contrast, was miserable. The weight of its shame felt heavier than the water it was meant to carry. Every day, it saw the trail of moisture it left behind on the dusty path as a testament to its own failure. It felt it was letting Elias down, making him do the work of 2 journeys for the price of 1.5. The constant dripping was like a whisper of its own inadequacy, a sound that echoed its deepest fear, that it was useless. It watched the perfect pot, so whole and efficient, and felt a profound sorrow for its own brokenness. The crack was not just a part of it. It felt like the entirety of its identity. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, the cracked pot could bear its silence no longer. As Elias knelt to clean the pots by his hearth, the pot's sorrow seemed to pour out of it, a silent apology to the kind old man. It imagined itself saying, "I am so sorry, Master. For 2 years I have been a burden. This crack in my side causes me to leak water all the way back to your house. Because of my flaw, you do all of this work and you don't get the full value for your efforts. I have failed you." Elias paused, his gentle eyes looking at the pot not with disappointment, but with a deep and knowing compassion. He set down his cloth and softly touched the fissure in the clay. A warm smile spread across his face, crinkling the corners of his eyes. "My dear friend," he replied, his voice as soothing as the stream itself. "Did you not notice something on our walk back today?" The pot, lost in its own misery, had noticed nothing but the dust and the steady drip, drip, drip of its own failure. "Tomorrow," Elias continued, "as we return from the stream, I want you to pay very close attention to the path, but look only at your side of it." The next morning, as they made their familiar journey, the cracked pot did as it was told. With a heavy heart, it still felt the water seeping from its flaw, but it forced itself to look down at the ground beside it. And then it saw. Along its side of the path, where its water had dripped day after day, was a breathtakingly beautiful ribbon of life, a vibrant tapestry of wildflowers, scarlet poppies, golden marigolds, and deep blue cornflowers grew in a lush, flourishing line. They reached their faces towards the sun, their petals glistening with the very water the pot had believed was wasted. The other side of the path, the side of the perfect pot, was nothing but barren dust. All the way back to the cottage, the pot was mesmerized by the beauty it had unknowingly helped create. When they arrived, Elias gently set the pots down and looked at the cracked one with that same gentle smile. "You see," he said, "I have always known about your flaw. In fact, I took advantage of it. I planted those flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day since, without even knowing it, you have been watering them. You thought you were leaking, failing, losing what you were meant to hold, but in reality, you were giving life." He continued, his voice full of wisdom. "Because of the very thing you saw as your greatest weakness, I have been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate my home. Without you being exactly the way you are, with that crack and all, there would be no this beauty to grace my table and gladden my heart." In that moment, the cracked pot understood. Its flaw, the source of all its shame, was also the source of something uniquely beautiful. Its imperfection was not a sign of its uselessness, but the very channel for a different, and perhaps even greater purpose. And so it is with us. Each of us is a cracked pot. We all have our own unique flaws, our own imperfections, our own scars from the journey. We may see these cracks as weaknesses, as things that diminish our worth. We compare ourselves to others who seem so perfect, so whole, and we feel ashamed of the water we feel we are losing along the way. But we must remember the wisdom of Elias. It is our cracks, our vulnerabilities, and our perceived shortcomings that can allow for unexpected beauty to grow in our lives and in the lives of others. Your shyness might make you a better listener. Your sensitivity might make you a more compassionate friend. The struggles you have overcome might equip you to guide others through their own dark paths. Do not be ashamed of your cracks. Own them. Understand that they are a part of your story, a part of what makes you uniquely you. For it is through these very openings that the light can get in, and it is from these very leaks that we can water the world around us, often in ways we may never even see. Your weakness, when viewed through the eyes of purpose and compassion, may just be your greatest strength. If this story of the cracked pot touched something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Which crack in your life has secretly grown flowers along your path? Share it in the comments. Your story may be the hope someone else needs today. If you'd like more stories that remind you your imperfections still have purpose, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell. Share this with a friend who feels not enough. You are not broken beyond use. You are watering a garden you may not see yet.